Hey everyone, Scott Johnson here with Pitt Home Buyers here out of Greenville, North Carolina. And we had a really cool article today, and it's a little backdated, well, forward dated really, because technically it's past Christmas. But when we were writing it up, I was like, wow, this actually makes a lot of sense, just the key points that it makes. Now, of course, the examples it gives is more like a Christmassy type thing. And if you're like me and you still have your tree up, that might not be a big issue, but it is the end of January and I need to basically take it down. But I'm also lazy. So anyway, I just wanted to go through a couple of these key points because they make a lot of sense, especially because winter does not end until like late February, early March. And in North Carolina, of course, it does stay relatively warm around that time. But this is where we get hit with the really cold weather from time to time, and it's back and forth. So a couple of things that they talked about was the weather outside may be frightful, right? So essentially, people want to associate your home, like the home you are trying to sell, with something that's welcoming and, open, and something that they would just like to live in, right? Give me a second here. Do not disturb. Apologies about that. But so how are you positioning your home when they're walking in? Now, of course, if you're working with a realtor, you're going to need to take down your personal photos, things like that, because you want them to see themselves in that home. Now, a couple of things I did when I worked over at Bellamy Student Living over here in Greenville, North Carolina, what I used to do was I was a leasing agent, and we had a group of people coming in from bus tours to take a look at the property or the models that we had. And so we thought of a couple of different interesting ways to, make it feel more like home. So one thing that my buddy Taylor, he was the property manager at the time, did was he said, all right, guys, bus tours are coming. I'm getting some cookie dough. And that's one thing that actually made people go, whoa, it smells fantastic in here, is we were actually baking cookies. Now, we took it a step further, and we actually laid the cookies out on the table, like not physically on the table, but on a plate. And had a little note that said fresh made cookies for you that we wrote up on an iPad and kind of put it behind the cookies. That was really neat. Now, also, let's say that you have a fireplace in your home, right? Maybe it's wood, maybe it's gas. Go ahead and light that bad boy up. Also, have some ambient music playing in the background, something, very chill or mellow. Really what I do is I look up something on iTunes and I actually look for meditation music. And there's a really good one that I use. It's called Zen Meditation. Or if you're a nerd like me and you love Skyrim and video games, you can actually just play Skyrim Atmospheres on your Google, or not Google, but iTunes. And that'll really help to make it kind of like a warm feeling. Also, if you do not have a fire, let's say you don't have a fireplace, what I do is and we also sell salsa too. You may know A La Rita Gourmet Foods. It's a local food brand. We sell it at the Leroy James Farmers Market. One thing we did when I was at the holiday show was I took my laptop with me, and at Bellamy I used an iPad because there's no fireplace there. And I actually looked up on YouTube 10 hours of high definition crackling fire. It actually had a fireplace. So I literally put that next to the cookies, right? And then I had it on our table when we were at this event. It's called the Mistletoe Magic in Morehead City. And I actually had it there. And people were like, oh, that makes it feel so cool, right? It just adds to the aura of the whole thing. So if you're looking to sell it, maybe for sale by owner, obviously getting a group of people. That's another good tip. If you're doing it for sale by owner, okay, what you want to do is you're going to have a lot of people, especially if you post it on Facebook, Craigslist, things like that. They're going to be like, hey, can I see it tomorrow? Hey, can I see it Wednesday? Hey, can I see it this day? Da, 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 da. Get them all there at one time. If they say, oh, I can't make it that day, can I make it another day? I'll let you know when the next one's scheduled, right? Get them all there at one time. Doing it on a weekend, maybe a evening or a morning on Saturday is a great time to do it, or even a Friday night. You're still wanting to look at doing it at around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. And of course, it is still getting dark early here. It's a little better, but you still want to make sure it's light out just for safety reasons, obviously. But, getting people there at one time, what's that going to do for you? What that's going to do is it's going to create what's called greed factor. Right? Greed factor is defined as this. Everybody wants what everybody else has. Again, everybody wants what everybody else has. I used to use this when I was over in, I was actually in Sam's Club here in Greenville and Goldsboro and Rocky Mount pitching products. And what I do is try to get as many people to the table as humanly possible. Why am I going to do that? Because if they see a bunch of people there at the table, they're going to be like, oh, what's going on over there? Because they don't want to be left out, right? So what you're doing is you're creating that same effect by getting, let's say, 5, 10, 20 people in your house at one time. Obviously, I understand that can be overwhelming, and I can tell you how to manage that in another video when it comes to having a bunch of people in your home, especially if you are doing it for sale by owner. But what that's going to do is it's going to make people go, oh my gosh, well, I better put down a higher price for this. Otherwise, I might not get it, right? That's one way to do it. So, okay, so that was a lot on step one. Really, it rolled over into all of them. Those are a couple of points that'll really help you with a for sale by owner. Obviously, if you're looking for a fast cash sale, just give us a call. We can go ahead and make you an offer. But chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Of course, highlighting it as an ideal place to provide warmth, okay? One thing that some people like to do is also put up little East Carolina things around the area, because if you got a football fan coming in and you have like a ECU, just like a blanket draped across the couch or something like that, then that helps as well. But of course, like in the other article, if you hadn't read that yet, I'll see if I can link it in here. It actually, I think it was an article from a couple of weeks ago. It actually tells you want to make sure that you're creating that feel, but you don't want to essentially go towards one crowd, if that makes any sense. So it's important to make it beautiful and something that any culture, religion, anyone would be, feel at home with. Gifts wrapped under the tree. Obviously, they want to see themselves living in the home. Now, you can only do so much. So actually, I am going to link back to that other article because that really would help. I'll put it actually in number 3. I'll go ahead and put it there so you can link back to it. And it gives you, I give you some good tips on, what you need to do to kind of make it comfortable for everybody. Make your home seasonally inviting to everybody. Now, of course, what season are we in now? We're in winter, but what holiday's coming up? Right? Valentine's Day. So, maybe doing some Valentine's decorations. Don't go all out, like hanging hearts and pink and silver glitter all over the place or garland and stuff. You don't need to go that far. But, using nice, dish towels and putting them out. I like to hang a dish towel on the handle for the oven. Maybe having a picture or two. Some of these, there's some really cool wooden, what is it? It's not carved. I think it's laser engraved wooden plaques. And, you can put whatever you want up there. They have it a lot at the antique shops. In fact, Artisans is a really good place to go. If you don't know where Artisans is at, you can either search it on Google, look them up on Facebook, or you can look for the Great Harvest Bread Company. It's right behind there, and they got some really neat stuff to be able to decorate your home. You're welcome, Susan. Susan's actually the owner. Definitely, let her know that. Go say hi to her and let her know that I sent you. I don't get anything, but I like good work to be rewarded. Now, if you're on a budget though, go to Goodwill. Go to Salvation Army. They've always got some stuff over there that can be really useful. And if you're not finding what you want, ask the people that are working there. Say, hey, listen, can you, maybe take down my number? And if you see something like this come in, let me know. Developing those relationships will definitely help out as well. In summary, you guys, the big thing is when you're looking to sell your house in winter, especially, you want to make it seasonally appropriate, but you also want to make sure, and which is why I say the fire's a really good idea. Just saying. But you want to make it a place. You want to make it look like a place that people can walk in and see themselves there. That's the reason that you want to take down your family photos and things that are, maybe like sports team signs, and let's just ECU go Pirates. Things like that, because people want to be able to see themselves there. Obviously, if you have a room with, board all on the walls on front of the drywall and it says man cave above it and, has a mounted TV in the wall, it's going to appeal to someone completely different than, an average person who's just, looking for a place. Sure, they want to have that space, but they may not want to have it all gossied up. Anyway, I went really long on this video. I really hope this helped you out. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to email us. It is still propertypreservationproject@gmail.com. You can also message us on Facebook. More than happy to talk to you. Or if you click the link in the right-hand side about getting information on us, giving you a cash offer, it's got our phone number and you can text us too. We're really excited to talk to you. I hope this helps and have a great day.